Understandable English podcast.
Learn English the easy way.
I need to confess something. Last Tuesday at about 10:30 at night, I decided I was going to completely transform my life. Not improve it, transform it, like a movie montage. And somehow I thought it would all start before midnight.
That already sounds dangerous. Also, welcome back to the Understandable English podcast, where Bryan apparently makes major life decisions at the same time most people are deciding what snack to eat before bed.
I don't know what happened. I was watching a video, then another video. Then somehow I ended up watching a 30-year-old man explaining how he wakes up at 4:47 every morning and drinks water while looking at the sunrise. 10 minutes later, I was convinced my entire life was wrong.
Honestly, I think many people have had that moment. You see someone with a perfect routine and suddenly your own routine feels terrible, even if it was completely fine 5 minutes earlier.
Exactly. And I went all in. I didn't just make a plan. I made 12 plans. I ordered notebooks. Multiple notebooks. Apparently, one notebook wasn't enough for the new version of me.
That's always the first warning sign. When the plan requires shopping, the plan may be more exciting than the actual habit.
Thank you. Finally, someone understands. I bought a fitness notebook, a productivity notebook, a goal notebook, and a notebook to organize the other notebooks.
The notebook for the notebooks is my favorite part. That feels like a person preparing for a project instead of doing the project.
If you've ever done something like this, tell us in the comments. I genuinely want to know I'm not alone. There must be other people who have purchased supplies for a future version of themselves.
There are definitely thousands of them. Entire industries survive because people believe tomorrow's version of themselves will be much more organized.
So I created this schedule. It was beautiful, color-coded. Every minute had a purpose. Wake up at 5 o'clock, exercise at 5:15, read for 30 minutes, journal, learn a skill, eat a healthy breakfast, work, exercise again, read again, sleep early.
How much of that schedule had you actually done before?
None of it.
Right. Just checking.
But in my mind, it made sense. Future Bryan was incredible. Future Bryan had discipline. Future Bryan never got distracted. Future Bryan probably folded his laundry immediately.
Future Bryan sounds exhausting.
He really was. Anyway, I went to sleep feeling amazing. I felt like my life had finally come together. Then the alarm went off at 5 a.m.
And?
I got up.
Wait, really?
Yes. For one glorious morning, I became the person from the schedule. I drank water, I stretched, I looked outside, I felt powerful.
I can hear the word "but" coming.
But by 10 a.m., I was already tired. By noon, I wanted a nap. By 3 p.m., I was questioning every decision I had ever made.
That makes sense. Your body was probably wondering why you suddenly changed everything at once.
Exactly. But I refused to give up. I thought the problem was motivation. So I watched more videos.
Of course you did.
The videos told me successful people push through discomfort. So I kept going. I worked out again that evening. I read another chapter of a book I barely understood. I wrote 3 pages in my journal about becoming my best self.
And how long did this last?
24 hours.
Honestly, longer than I expected.
Thank you. I appreciate the support.
That wasn't support.
By Wednesday night, I was completely burned out. The notebooks were sitting on my desk. The schedule felt impossible, and all my motivation disappeared.
That's the part people don't talk about enough. Motivation feels powerful, but it's usually temporary. It arrives dramatically and leaves quietly.
Yes? Motivation disappeared like a friend who promised to help you move furniture and suddenly stopped answering messages.
A very specific example.
I'm still not over it.
One thing I've noticed is that people often try to change their entire identity overnight. They don't just want one new habit, they want a completely new life.
That's exactly what I did. I wasn't trying to wake up earlier. I was trying to become a different person before Wednesday.
And that's a lot of pressure.
It really is. Looking back, I think I liked the fantasy more than the reality. Planning felt exciting. Doing the boring daily work felt much less exciting.
That's a very human problem. We enjoy imagining success. We don't always enjoy repeating small actions every day.
The funny thing is that I knew this. I've failed at these giant life overhaul plans before. Yet somehow every few months I convince myself that this time will be different.
Because the dream is attractive. A fresh start feels good. A clean notebook feels good. A perfect schedule feels good.
That clean notebook feeling is dangerous. You look at those empty pages and think, this notebook understands me. This notebook believes in me.
The notebook has unrealistic expectations.
It really does.
I also think social media makes this harder. We usually see the exciting result, not the boring process. We see someone after years of consistency and compare ourselves to them on day one.
That's true. Nobody posts a video called Day 137 of doing the same small habit again.
Exactly. Consistency is usually not dramatic. It's repetitive.
If this conversation sounds familiar, leave a like or subscribe. Not because we're experts, but because we're clearly providing an important public service by documenting avoidable mistakes.
You're turning your failure into educational content.
I'm trying to get something out of it.
Well, here's where my story is very different. A few months ago, I had a similar moment. I thought, maybe I should improve a few things. But instead of making a huge plan, I picked one small habit.
Just one?
One. I wanted to spend less time looking at my phone before bed.
That sounds much more reasonable than buying 4 notebooks.
It was. My entire plan was simple. When I plugged in my phone at night, I put it on the other side of the room.
That's it?
That's it.
No color-coded schedule?
No.
No motivational speech?
No.
No notebook for managing other notebooks?
Definitely not.
Honestly, I'm impressed.
The interesting part was that it actually worked. Not perfectly, but consistently. Some nights I still picked up my phone, but most nights I didn't.
See, that's where we differ. If I fail once, I immediately create a dramatic story about it.
I know.
I'll miss one day and think, well, I guess the entire project has failed.
I know.
And then I'll order another notebook.
I definitely know.
What happened after the phone habit?
After a few weeks, I started sleeping a little better. Then waking up became slightly easier. Then I had more energy during the day. None of it was dramatic. But the small changes started connecting together.
That's actually kind of amazing.
The boring answer is often the correct answer. Small habits don't feel impressive at first because the results are tiny.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to become a completely different human being in 48 hours.
Which creates another problem. When the plan is huge, every mistake feels huge.
That's true. Missing one workout in my giant schedule felt like a disaster.
Because the schedule wasn't flexible. Real life is messy. People get tired, work becomes busy, things happen.
I think that's something I finally understand. Successful habits need to survive normal life. They can't only work on perfect days.
Exactly. A habit that only works when everything goes perfectly isn't very useful.
That reminds me of something. During my 24-hour self-improvement adventure, I actually spent more time planning than doing.
That's extremely common.
I had charts, lists, categories, goals, vision statements.
You created a small company.
I was the CEO of Future Bryan Incorporated.
And the company closed within one business day?
Unfortunately, yes.
Tell us in the comments, what's the smallest habit that actually helped you? Sometimes those stories are more useful than hearing about giant transformations.
I agree. Also, those stories are usually more realistic.
Something else I've noticed is that people underestimate how good it feels to keep a promise to yourself, even a small one.
That's interesting.
If you decide to read 2 pages and then actually read 2 pages, that's a success. It sounds tiny, but it builds trust.
While if I decide to wake up at 5 o'clock, run 10 kilometers, learn a language, and become a philosopher before breakfast, failure becomes much more likely.
Slightly more likely, yes.
I think I spent years waiting for motivation to save me. I thought one day I would wake up feeling permanently motivated.
And now?
Now I think motivation is useful for starting, but habits are what keep things moving when motivation disappears.
I completely agree with that.
The funny thing is that after my giant failure, I eventually found something that worked. I started walking for 10 minutes every morning.
Just 10?
Just 10. Nothing impressive, but I could actually keep it up.
There it is. That's usually where progress begins.
And because it was easy, I didn't dread it. I didn't need a motivational video. I just put on my shoes and went outside.
That's a great example. Small enough to do, consistent enough to matter.
It's not a dramatic story, though.
Most good habits aren't dramatic. That's why people don't make movies about them.
I would watch a movie called Person Repeatedly Does Small Responsible Thing.
It would be the shortest movie ever.
Or the longest.
Probably the longest.
I guess the bigger lesson is that changing your life overnight sounds exciting. But changing your life slowly is usually what actually works.
And changing your life slowly doesn't mean you're failing. It just means you're building something that can last.
That's a much better way to think about it.
It also removes some pressure. You don't have to become a new person tomorrow. You can simply take one small step today.
And maybe avoid buying too many notebooks.
That would also help.
Before we finish, let's do our vocabulary tour.
Good idea.
Phrase, go all in. Meaning to commit completely to something. Example, Bryan decided to go all in on his new self-improvement plan.
Phrase, come together. Meaning, to start working successfully or feeling organized. Example, for one morning, Bryan felt like his life had finally come together.
Phrase, give up. Meaning to stop trying. Example, even when he was tired, Bryan didn't want to give up.
Phrase, burned out. Meaning extremely tired from too much effort or stress. Example, after trying to change everything at once, Bryan felt burned out.
Phrase, keep it up. Meaning continue doing something consistently. Example, Bryan's 10-minute walks were easy enough to keep up.
Phrase, work out. Meaning to succeed or have a good result. Example, Jessica's small phone habit eventually worked out very well.
Well, I think that's a nice place to end. My final thought is that improving your life doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes the smallest changes are the ones that stay with you.
I like that. And honestly, life is usually built from ordinary days, not heroic Tuesdays.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care.
By the way, last night I almost went all in on another life-changing plan, but I didn't give up on my 10-minute walk, so things worked out. I'm trying to keep it up without getting burned out, which means I only bought one notebook this time.
That's progress. Slightly concerning progress, but still progress.